On the night of August 8th, 4 of Manson's followers showed up at a rented mansion in Beverly Hills. He ordered them to kill everyone there. In the house were actress Sharon Tate and 3 of her friends. Tate was married to director Roman Polanski and was 8.5 months pregnant. All of the mutilated bodies were found the next morning by a housekeeper. They were scattered around the estate. A friend of the Polanskis' caretaker was also killed.
Killings were horrible, gruesome. People were stabbed and shot. It seemed to have gone on for a long time.
More horror was not far off. The next night, Manson and 6 of his followers drove to a house in Los Angeles' Los Feliz district. A wealthy merchant couple, Lino and Rosemary LaBianca, were savagely killed.
It was horrific, and I remember saying, "Oh my God, it's happened again." And that set off a panic state in Los Angeles because everybody thought that now there were serial killers at loose who were going into homes and massacring people.
The public at large didn't know it yet, but the murders, the prosecution would later argue, were part of Manson's plan to launch a race war called Helter Skelter, named for the Beatles song that had come to obsess him.
Second act was the search for the killers, which went on for 3 months, and then their arrests, which were shocking in the extreme.
It didn't take police long to round up Manson and his disciples, a bunch of misfits fond of acid and freewheeling sex. A few days after the Tate LaBianca murders, detectives found the clan at their commune, Spahn Ranch, a ramshackle movie set in the San Fernando Valley. But Manson and his followers weren't taken in for the murders. They were arrested for being part of an auto theft ring. Police dropped the charges. The suspects were let go.
The group was broken up last October after sheriff's deputies investigated a series of thefts. When the deputies raided the camp, some of the women were nude and some wore only bikini bottoms. The men had shoulder-length hair and wore beads. 8 children were with the group, and 2 infants were found to be suffering from malnutrition.
Police arrested members of the group, including Manson, again on auto theft charges.
You had them thinking you were Jesus Christ. How did you do that?
Just being myself. All men are Jesus Christ.
Sometimes he would reenact the crucifixion when we were on LSD. And it was very realistic.
You mean pretend that he was being nailed?
Yeah, and go through the whole thing. And then make the connections of man, son, son of man, you know.
Sure. What do you think of that? We were born again Christians before we got... You believe in a God?
Sure.
That's not you. Well, sure it's me. Under what circumstances?
You believe in God, Charles?
Sure, I believe in myself. Why wouldn't I? Which one?
Are you Jesus Christ?
Which Jesus? There's all kinds of Jesuses. There's a black Jesus down in Florida. He's having a good time. There's a Mexican Jesus in Mexico. I mean, there's all kinds of... There's a Jewish Jesus. I mean, Jesus, you know. There's all kinds of Jesus coming back everywhere. And nothing can stop it. It's a consciousness that lives in your mind. It's a consciousness that lives in your mind.
You've got to have a strong system, but in order for it to be a strong system, the system's got to be right, man. You can't fake it. You can't jump up and knock a bunch of people down and say, see how strong we are? That ain't gonna, that's not going to do it. You got to be right. You got to finesse it. You got to have a one world government. You got to have a one world court. You got to have a one world government. You got to have a one world court. There can be no place in the world that you can get away.
In the meantime, though, since that is probably a long way away...
Well, not as far as you might think.
Well, so that's probably not going to happen next week.
Manson was convicted after the gruesome murders of 8 people, including the pregnant Sharon Tate. And after 2 decades of silence, he is talking from his California jail cell, and his words are still every bit as chilling.
We've told everybody that all things are bad. Bad is not good and good is not bad. Bad and good go together. You have to accept one to understand the other. You've got to accept yourself as God. You got to realize you're just the devil just as much as you're God. That you're everything and you're nothing at
While on the phone with the reporter for Vanity Fair Spain, Manson, now 76, is asked about brainwashing those followers to kill back in 1969, referred to then as the Manson family.
I live in the underworld. I don't tell people what to do. They know what to do. If they don't know what to do, they don't come around me because I'm very mean. I am very mean. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say mean?
And knowing that the reporter asking the questions was from Spain, in the middle of the interview, Manson begins rambling in Spanish.
I'm very mal hombre. I'm nasty.
I'm a very bad man, he says.
You speak Spanish? Muy poco. Muy poco.
He says he learned Spanish from fellow prisoners. Manson now has a new attorney who has asked President Obama to set Manson free, even as the convict offers harsh words for the president, calling him foolish. About Wall Street, he says they're playing with him. And he says we're all playing with the environment.
And if we don't wake up to that, there's going to be no weather because our polar caps are melting because we're doing bad things to the atmosphere. We got to put everything in one world, everything in one world now. If it doesn't come to one world now, there will be no planet. There will be no life on the planet.
The irony is not lost there. Manson now talking about life on this planet 40 years after those 8 lives were taken, and he has a new set of followers, believe it or not, who say that his words are not the rantings, the ramblings of a madman. They believe that his cause is the environment now, and believe it or not, there's a new group behind him.
Happened at Sharon Tate, the most brutal murder that people were aware of. Not that there's not a lot of other brutality around, but this got attention. What'd you think?
Well, I looked over in Vietnam and I said...
No, what'd you think about Sharon Tate and her unborn baby?
What did I think about it?
Yeah.
It's not my world. I don't live in that world.
Well, so you didn't care?
Care?
Suppose Texas...
What the hell does that mean, care?
Well, it means love. That means some sense...
Put me in a solitary confinement, break my teeth out, break my ribs, bust me up, kick me down a hole, right, and then come back and tell me about care. I don't know what care is, man.
We have a weird homicide.
In a scene described by one investigator as reminiscent of a weird religious rite, 5 persons, including actress Sharon Tate, were found dead at the home of Miss Tate and her husband, screen director Roman Polanski. Miss Tate, who starred in Valley of the Dolls, was 8 months pregnant and was found in a bikini-type nightgown with a rope around her neck attached to the body of a man.
2 bodies inside, 2 bodies outside.
Among the other victims were Hollywood hairstylist Jay Sebring and coffee heiress Abigail Folger.
Question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. He's going to repeat it for the tape.
The question is, what about Charles Manson? Was he demon-possessed?
Also about the book and everything. All right. Manson belonged to, I had to belong to many brotherhoods, okay? Manson, the brotherhood that he belonged to is called the Process. The only brotherhood I worry about. They are so radical that in order to kill me, they would gladly give their own life up right in a meeting. They were run out of England for human sacrifice. They have the inner and the outer process. The outer process is a good group. They have free coffee houses, free clothing, free places to live, and so on. The inner practice human sacrifice. They were rolled up. They were a contract. He was paid to do it. Tate was breaking away. Her husband knew about it. Her husband went over to establish an alibi in Europe. The money came down. $50,000 came down from Toronto to New Orleans, and poor Manson only got $2,000 of it by the time it went through all the sticky fingers. But that's what the Tate killings were about. The others just happened to be there. She wanted out, and you don't get out. And her mistake was she warned him in advance. She was arguing with her. She was having a baby, and she didn't want the baby raised up in it, and she wanted out. And if you remember the trial script from the book, that's the one thing she begged. She says, she kept repeating over and over, don't kill me, don't kill my baby. Her baby was what she cared about. And that's the information that I have on it.
The victims are easily picked up. They are wandering teenagers looking for a good time, runaways, skid row bums, paper boys, paper girls. You can go out to the street the day before or the day during, pick up that child, drug him or whoever you want to, get him ready for the ceremony, and at that time, they will slice the person's throat open, pick up the blood in a chalice, because they believe that the power in the blood will add to them.
How do you know this? How do you know this?
I wasn't the only one who practiced this type
So
of...
have you practiced in going out and picking up people off the street and slicing their throats?
Yes, it was the easiest way.
And why aren't you in jail? Wait a minute. I want him to say it.
As a matter of fact,
why did they kill him? And why aren't you in jail? Please let him speak.
Sharon Tate LaBianca's murder, was a witch's hitting. Sharon Tate wanted out, but the thing is, the Illuminati...
What do you mean she wanted out? She was a witch?
Yes, she was tired of it. She wanted to get out, but
Sharon
the thing
Tate
is...
was a witch, okay.
But the thing is...
You base those allegations on what?
On when I was in, myself. I'm not the only one who knows this information. Anybody who was in witchcraft during that time can tell you the same thing. What happened was...
That Sharon Tate was a practicing witch?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the Illuminati...
I have no information to refute it, so I'm only going on what you're saying.
The Illuminati sent Charles Manson in to kill her. If you remember, she was killed. One leg was strung up from the rafter, her hands behind her, her throat sliced open. There was a tarot, 78 cards in a tarot deck. You look at the 12th major arcana one, it looks like the Hanged Man. That's exactly how Sharon Tate LaBianca was left. Charles Manson did not go into prison. He volunteered to go in.
So you're saying that Charles Manson came from this group, the Illuma?
He's one of the most powerful wizards alive today.
Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? It's Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on. It's Sunday, Sacrifice Sunday, and damn, I probably shouldn't say that word no more, because YouTube just be killing my channel with this shadow banning. Like, shit. It's quite frustrating, y'all. But anyways, we back with another video, and hope y'all enjoyed those clips. I thought it was super interesting when I decided to go ahead and put this video together. Super unexpected, even for me, because I kind of like, when I came across a few videos of it, I was just like, you know what, let's just go in, let's make this video. We're not even gonna think about it. I know y'all gonna mess with it. So there you go. Charles Manson, Sharon Tate. I just thought it was super interesting to get into. I kind of feel like it just adds a little bit of, different texture to the channel, although we're still on the same lines of things being, ritualistically done as far as the murders of Sharon Tate and the LaBianca, the Tate/LaBianca murders. I just thought it'd add up, add a little texture to the channel, So that's that. Starting with that last clip, I'm not going to make this too long. Y'all know I just want to come in and kind of sum up the entire video. So starting with that last clip that y'all just watched before I came in, I think that was the last clip that I found, to kind of just complete the video. And it completely sold me. Like, number one, I don't know who that guy is that was talking. The white guy, obviously, we know that's Oprah. That was a long time ago. I don't even know what year that was recorded. I know Oprah has been on TV for a very long time, so I don't know what year that was recorded. But seeing him basically kind of confirm the same thing that I looked up for this video, as far as John Todd basically saying the same thing that he said. And I found a bunch of articles, a bunch of deep articles that basically detailed the fact that Charles Manson was more than likely hired to kill Sharon Tate. And that, like they said in the video, the bodies just happened to be there, because he supposedly was a true, murderous, lunatic kind of cult leader kind of guy, right? So I didn't want to do this video and just super dive into everything about Charles Manson, because it's not really, y'all kind of know how I like to do it every time I explain this. It wasn't really just about Charles Manson, but, just wanted to get into the ritualistic sacrifice of Sharon Tate and how, he was basically sent from the top to kill her. And it goes deep because even some of this stuff I never knew, as far as Sharon Tate supposedly overhearing information. Now, it's not just the truth. It's a theory. It's something that I don't know how it made it to the internet, who started it, whatever. But, there's other proof that she actually wanted out of the industry. She wanted out of this satanic occult that she was a part of. She'd already been in Hollywood. She'd already been a part of all the orgy parties and the ritualistic parties where they do who knows what. She had already been a part of that. And she was already on record saying that she wanted to get out and that she didn't want they to kill her and her baby. So she already had an idea that she would be murdered. They just did it in kind of a slick, sly way. Now, like I put in the text, the theory or the rumors were that she overheard information or somehow got information about how Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated and about the guy who actually assassinated him. So, like I said, whether that's true or not, there's no way we could really prove it. Literally, this was in the 60s. There's no way we could actually prove that. But it sounds like a damn good theory when you think about the fact that she was already on record saying she wanted to get out. She didn't want them to kill her and her child. So we know something deep and dark was going on. And this satanic cult, group or whatever she was a part of, obviously her being a practicing witch herself, or maybe even a full-blown witch in Hollywood herself. Because if you go all the way back to the video I did with John Todd, about John Todd, he explained to you that you had to be a practicing witch in order to even be around this kind of stuff. And he was talking about music. To get a contract, you had to be a practicing witch, which is basically the same thing today. You have to agree to, promote the symbolism, agree to go to rituals and do all of this. You're basically a witch, basically, who knows truly what they do, the things that they learn about the other side. So it's the same thing in the film industry. All these people are practicing witches and warlocks, and they're a part of the occult. Now, it seems that she was murdered just for something a lot deeper than just, Hollywood-related stuff, So I thought, I thought it was just pretty interesting to go over all this and sort of bring it to the light, put out, just put out a good video that kind of details the occult relation to Sharon Tate being murdered by Charles Manson. Now, also in that last clip where the guy was talking about how they basically use the blood because they believe it empowers the ritual. It empowers and gives them power as well, because we all know that's basically adrenochrome. He didn't necessarily explain it as far as it coming from a kid, but he just mostly meant the blood in itself gives the ritual more power, which basically we all know that blood is actual. It kind of plays as a portal between both worlds. We went over it in the what video was that? I think that was the dark rituals of the occult video. And so we went over why they outline squared rooms or circular rooms with blood. Like when you see a pentagram, why is there blood around the pentagram? And why do they outline squared rooms with blood? It's because blood is used to bring in the demons. Blood is used as a gateway to the other realm. Blood is alive. And so you can conjure demons when you outline the ritual space with blood. So that's basically what he was talking about. Just in case y'all kind of got confused on what he was talking about with that blood that he mentioned in the last clip. So it kind of makes sense when you think about the fact that they murdered Sharon Tate while she was actually 8 months pregnant. So they didn't just kill her, they killed her baby who was just about to be born as well. So when we're talking about ritualistic sacrifices, that was a pretty big one for the people who did it. Even some of the news broadcasts said that it looked ritualistic. So, I'm not just sitting here spewing shit out and making things up. The people that actually saw the scene, saw the murder scene, that's what they described it as, because that's exactly what it was. Which is why I said hearing him talk about that on Oprah and them basically trying to completely dismiss him. I don't know what was, detailed in that little episode or whatever, what was going on, but you could tell they didn't really want him to talk about that. And back then, that shit sounds like a bunch of you crazy as hell. Today, you can get by, talk about that, and people are going to listen. Back then, it was completely different. Nobody's trying to hear that shit because you sound like a fucking lunatic. Makes sense. All right, y'all. So to go ahead and wrap this video up, like I said, I just kind of wanted to present this video and mostly go over, the occult relations to the sacrifice of Sharon Tate. I didn't want to do this video and have the entire video just be all about Charles Manson, because that's kind of like a video in itself, as far as, everything that has to do with him. Obviously, he was a pretty interesting character. I can't really think of much words to describe him. I don't think there's many words that does describe him, because a person like that, you just don't know where their mind is, But I can definitely say it is not far-fetched at all that he was hired to kill her and that he was actually a part of a brotherhood himself. He was actually already a part of, some kind of satanic cult himself, and not just the one that he ran. Obviously he had people above him, because he wouldn't have been promoting the New World Order, nor would he have been talking about global warming and, the planet needs to be this, because if you think about it, why would a guy like that even talk about shit like that? Unless you're trying to sound smart or sound like you know what you're talking about. A guy like that supposedly has his own mind and could come up with all this, you're a devil, you're a god, you're everything, and then you're nothing at the same time, which I thought the end of that quote was kind of genius, as far as you're everything and then you're nothing at the same time. That's almost like the same thing as, like a wise person knows that he knows nothing, so it's like you're wise in a sense, you know a lot, but at the same time you don't know anything. So it's kind of the same as you're everything and then you're nothing at the same time. So I thought that part was a little genius. I'll give him that, because that's definitely true. But it's just kind of weird that someone like him that has his own mind, his own thoughts, he's a lunatic, he's this and that, whatever you want to call him, that he would actually be promoting a government agenda. And as you can see, they've been promoting that agenda for hundreds of years. And it still hasn't changed to this day. To this day, literally. So yeah, man, that is pretty much gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. You know, definitely let me know what y'all think in the comments. As always, we'll get a conversation going. I hope y'all had a good weekend. It's Sunday. I'm getting this video out a little late today, but as long as we get it done, y'all already know what's going on, man. Look, we got a lot of content to come. You know, I'm in that mode. I feel good. You know, so definitely expect more fire videos. And y'all already know what's going on, man. It's Black Balloon. And I'm going to see y'all soon.